doesn't record you guys. So it records this right here. Okay, so once again, just to make sure it's in the recording, we place our compass here. After we measured 2.5 with our ruler, we find the circle that goes through that dot that's on our paper, which in this case would be A1. I put my pencil there, and this is where it's a little bit tricky, and you have to get some practice. That's what we're doing today. And it might be that you need to throw away the first 2 or 3 drawings, and that's okay. You're going to take and you're going to draw a circle by moving your compass up and down. At one point, you have to lift up your arm a little bit so you can complete the circle. And then this is what you get. Okay, I'm going to walk around and help some that need some help, right? If you've got a circle drawn on your paper, you can also help some around you. But we have very few people in here. We have a lot of virtual students. So I'll walk around, but try it. Because before you ask for help, you'd be surprised. Most of you guys can do this. You just got to try. Your pencil there. Up. All the way until you run your pencil back down. All the way until you run your. Lift up this elbow a little bit and keep going. Try to close off this one. Look at that. It really didn't have to help you at all.
And look at it, it's crooked. That's not a circle.
Shaking a little bit. Okay, Anthony, good. And Jillian, you get a restart?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and grab quite a few sheets.
I got irritated.
Because we're gonna do like 5, so grab as many as you need.
My finger has a hole.
And yeah, you might have been pressing down way too hard, Lane. Like, yes, you have to press down hard, but you don't have to break your finger to do it. Like this.
Mr. Lashwood,
Okay. Yes, sir.
I have to go to the school because I have a meet today, so I'll be
Yes.
going to your class when I get there.
If you get here, yes, just drop by because I have a meeting too. So if you come in here, just stop by my room and I'll give you a compass.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so just so you know, we have completed step 1. I would suggest you keep up with the steps. Those of you who have it in front of you, and even those at home, I'm going to be giving you a copy of these. I would check these off as I do it because you don't want to accidentally do a step twice or skip a step. We're about to go to the next one, which is where I told Lane that he didn't have to erase the line because we're about to do a line now. Draw the vertical and horizontal diameters. So, what is a diameter? That's a vocabulary word there. So a diameter, I'm about to explain in the drawing, is a straight line. So that's why we had to make sure that none of these were jagged. Is a straight line. And if it's the vertical diameter, it's a straight line that goes up and down. If it is a horizontal diameter, then it's a line that goes straight across. And if you have the paper that still has the creases on it, don't you already have those lines on the creases? Right, so you could just follow your creases. Okay, go ahead and do that. That is step number 2. So we've got 2 out of the 5 steps done now. Okay, so I'll wait just a second to let you guys catch up for just a second there. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and do the next step, which is to draw a 3.5-inch circle. We just did 2.5. You should be able to draw a 3.5-inch, but I'm going to do it with you. And, you know, so if you are patient, just wait.
Okay. I want a perfect.
It's going to be perfect.
No, it won't take that one flat right there.
It is not flat. It's not a tire.
It looks like it's supposed to be the same one Dolly was up with.
I was sweating hard too. I had, you know, the ends of the scissors, that whole thing in my heart. It was like 19 years. Break papers. Okay, anyways, it's not distracting me. What is wrong? Okay, so I don't know how I ran over it. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't see them and be like, let's get it. Like, no, I didn't do that. But someone had it in the parking lot. Because I got it here. Literally. Okay. So this time we're looking a little bit better because you're using paper. So right there. I'll hold the paper a little bit, goes down as far as you can until you can't anymore. Then go in the other direction. Keep going. And close that up. Okay. And then now you're going to do a horizontal and vertical back. That's the step we're on right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the next step. The next step should be easy. It's repeating what we did on step 1. So I'm going to go ahead and check it off because I know I'm going to get it done. But this time you have to measure 3.5. So I shouldn't have to explain in detail how to get 3.5 because we just explained how to get 2.5. Okay, how do I get 3.5? I go to 0, I go to 3, in between 3 and 4, put a dot there. There's the tick marks the longest there. So now I know where 3.5 is. Okay, I scoot this over because I only need it to get the measurement, right? I need my compass for the actual circle. Place this once again in the middle. And find this hole that goes through 3.5. If you have the one that still has the letters on it, that would be Q1. If you have a red one, it's not going to have letters, it'll have something else on it, but just find the hole and draw your circle. Again, you're going to go up and down until you get a full circle, and you do have to lift your arm up a little bit to complete that circle. This is what you should have on your paper now. And I go ahead and tell you, first of all, I've done this. This is the 6th time that I've done this paper here. Like if you go through all the ones that I've done so far, like I've folded the paper 1, 2, 3 times today. Like I've already like done this 3 times. Obviously, I know what I'm doing because I'm the teacher. So if you feel like, how can she get it on the first time and I can't do it? It didn't happen the first time. I've been teaching geometry for 7 years now. So I know how to use these compasses pretty well. You might need to do 3 or 4, throw away a couple, and then you'll get it, you know. So just don't feel defeated if yours doesn't look nice and clean the first time, okay? Here's my suggestion though. Don't throw anything away because the next one you do might be worse. And the first one you did might be your best one. So keep it. And then once you decide like, okay, this one's my best one, that's when you should throw away the others, okay? So we've done step 3. We literally only have 2 more steps because the last one is just color. So we only have 2 more steps. 4 is the hardest step just because of the wording. But once we actually do it on the paper, it's actually not that hard. So let me zoom in and explain the wording because you're going to see this again in other steps. Using the ends of the radii. Here's a word you might not know, so I'm going to explain what that is in just a second. As center points. Draw arcs, so you might not know what arcs are. We'll explain those in a second. With 2.5-inch radius that begin and end on the outer circle. Here's a hint. Isn't 2.5 the first measurement we did? And don't we see it again here? So if we already know the hole that we used the first time, which was A1, we already know which hole to use on number 4. We don't have to measure it again, okay? So I'm going to scoot this over, and I'm going to explain all this fancy words, what they were saying. Radii is plural for radius. What is a radius? This whole thing across is a diameter. Half of it is a radius. This whole thing up and down is a diameter. Half of it is the radius. So radii just means there's 4 of them. Does everybody see how there's 4 short lines? All I want you to do now is, since we're using the ends of them, I want you to put some heavy dots at the ends of each of these lines. Okay, these are now going to be your new center points. Before, our center point was the one we drew in the center. Now our center points are going to be these. It's not difficult to do. Once you see me do it once, I'll do it one more time, and then I think you'll get the hang of it. You're now going to take the centerpiece of the compass, and you're going to place it on those new center points we just drew. I like to start on the bottom because it seems to be easier to move my hand that way. So we're going to put the compass on the bottom. Again, you're going to make sure you're holding this nice and tight and find the hole that goes through the center. but you should already know that that hole is A1, right? The very first one you used. And then you're going to make like a frowny face. You're going to go down and down again. So I'm making like a half circle. It kind of looks like a frown. Okay, you stop at the edges of the big circle. Okay, I'm gonna let you try it, and then I'm gonna do it one more time so you can see it.
So what am I basically using
That A1, the very first hole that you used, should be the one that you're using.
now?
See it?
Yeah.
Make sure you can hit down here. So your new center point is here. Now you see it. What? All four, yes, all four that we did. Yeah, we're going to repeat it 4 times. Okay, I'm going to do it again because I might have gone too fast for someone, right? But instead of moving your arm, I would suggest turning your paper and then repeating the same thing. So grab your compass, place this compass on that dot that we drew before. It's still going to be A1, that shouldn't change. And you're going to draw a frowny face. Now you should see these petals starting to form. That's the whole point. You're going to start getting a flower out of this. Okay? So keep going until you have all 4 of the frowny faces drawn. I'm going to walk around, and if you need me to help you, or if you got stuck on a part, let me know. Also, you can use the people around you. So we only have one more step after this. Angelina, did you get it?
I did it too low. A little bit too low.
Okay.
I gotta read it all over again.
No, I would keep going, because remember, it's not going to happen. So the only thing I want you to do though is keep it going here. It needs to go to the edge of the outside, so you're on the edge. Keep it going. I would not restart, because what if it's the best one you got? Don't throw it away. Maybe you'll do it. Okay. So I'm going to finish this one off, and then we'll talk about mistakes in a second, because they do happen, and how much I would take off for them. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this next one. And again, I am turning my paper so I don't have to turn my arm in a weird way. So I turn my paper, and I'm still doing this towards the bottom. I still find that same circle that we had before. Flip this over one more time. I'm going to get my last petal formed now. Okay, we're not done. We still have one more step after this, but I do want to show you what it looks like before that last step. I want to talk a little bit about the mistakes, and if you can avoid them, and if you can't, it's okay. Now, like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and we still have sometimes, you know, just a very small part of it chopped off. So if I see how those petals are not perfectly meeting, but they almost are, that's not something I'm going to count off for. You know, because that's just a very small amount. Now, if it chops off a lot, then yes, definitely I would say restart. But if it just has something like this where the edges are barely off of it, that's not a big deal. Okay, this would still be no points off. So something like this is fine. Now, if it's chopped off like to here, so like if this whole part is missing, then yeah, you probably should do it again. Now, do not throw anything away, because what if this is the best that it gets and the next one you do looks worse? Then you got rid of something that you could have turned in. So don't throw this away. Even if you messed up on it, keep it. Once you get the one that you feel is the best, that's when you should throw away the ones you've done. Okay, last step. So we just did 4. Center a circle with a 1-inch radius. I'm gonna go ahead and check it off, because we should now know, this is the 3rd time we've done it, how to center a circle, but this time it's 1 inch. So again, put this down in the center at 0. But this time we're finding the number 1 and we're putting a dot there. It's going to be a very small circle in the center. If you're thinking of this as like a flower, that's kind of like your pollen, you know. So 1, just 1. Okay. If you're using one of the blue compasses and it still has the letters on it, I'm using the one that has C above it. And my last step is to draw this circle, and I'm done. It looks nice enough to where I would turn this in, so I'm going to put card number 1 so I don't accidentally do card 2 or 3, you know, again, when you've already done it. And my biggest suggestion is please put your name on it, because someone will see yours. It looks nice enough that they'll steal it and just turn it in as theirs. Because to be honest, there's no handwriting on this, so everyone's could look the same. Now, I have had students in the past take mine, trade it out with theirs, and act like they did it. Like, I know what mine looks like. Mine looks good. So don't do that. Plus, they didn't realize I had put my name on it on the back. So, but again, do your own work. Do it as best you can. There's no math, no calculator for the next 2 weeks. It's just compass work. So try your best on it. Okay. I'm going to walk around in a second and help those who need to be helped. What I do want to do, though, first is check back in with the virtual students and stop recording so they can not have this next part in the video.